From Aileen Cannon to SCOTUS to Georgia, Donald Trump's criminal cases have been paused by the judiciary for one reason or another. Welcome to Law and Society. Please subscribe and let's go through these various cases and where they stand and give you an update. A delay by any other name is still a delay, and we have been delaying for quite a while. It has been over a year since the Mar-a-Lago indictment was filed. And so, in that case, we start with that case. Aileen Cannon has denied Donald Trump's motion to dismiss the case, but she struck a part of the indictment off, which talked about Donald Trump sharing or showing a PAC representative a classified map, because Aileen Cannon said that it was prejudicial, but she denied Donald Trump's motion to dismiss. Donald Trump then filed another delaying tactic motion by asking the court for a continuance on disclosing their witness list, which was supposed to be done today. So they're asking until July to do that. So a delay by any other name is still a delay. Later on this month, we have the hearings on the constitutionality of the special counsel, appointment of the special counsel. And on my feed, I reposted the thread by Roger Parlov that I think really expertly explains, the background and context of the appointment of the special counsel. So that is where the Mar-a-Lago case is at the moment. SCOTUS, well, we are stepping into the 7th week. On Thursday, it'll be the 7th week that since SCOTUS has heard the oral arguments in Donald Trump's immunity appeal. Mind you, this is a single issue interlocutory appeal that was made during pre-trial process of a case that was scheduled to go on trial on March 5th, I think, March 5th or 4th, or something, beginning of March. It was stayed in February, the 6th of February, because of the appeal that was made based on immunity at the appellate level. And then the DC Circuit Court of Appeals ruled on it and ruled in favor of government. And now the case comes to the Supreme Court. They have taken 7 weeks to rule on it. They still haven't ruled on it. And it would be, what we have now, what we're dealing with the Supreme Court, is a huge ethical violation of Samuel Alito, refusing to recuse himself from January 6th cases, despite having flown the upside down American flag, which shows distress and was a flag that was flown during the Stop the Steal rally and the insurrection, and then also flying another Appeal to Heaven flag that was also sort of a revolutionary type of flag that was, in this context, flown during the insurrection. And that is a scandal that SCOTUS is dealing with right now, as it has 2 January 6th cases in front of it. One, Donald Trump's immunity appeal, and the second is a general obstruction statute case that I believe that SCOTUS needs to rule on, because it impacts about 300 criminal defendants who have been charged under this statute. So I would just like to remind everybody that had it not been for this court taking this appeal, saying it would expedite the appeal, and did so with the filing dates, but then after the oral arguments have now withheld ruling for 7 weeks. If it wasn't for this 7 weeks, and before that another 5 weeks, this case would be over by now. So that is an important thing to remember, is that delay is happening, and delay is being caused by the judiciary and Donald Trump by exploiting procedure and using that as a tactic of delay. it's kind of a stretch what they're doing in Cannon's court. But with SCOTUS, there's really nothing to approach here. Like no one else to approach. It is SCOTUS. So we have to wait until SCOTUS decides to rule on it. And Alito refuses to recuse. So, and I'll tell you this much, it will be really irksome to me and will prove that the court was withholding a ruling to delay on Donald's behalf if they only give a one sentence ruling or by remanding. They need to provide a test, or they need to provide a conclusive ruling that will allow the case to move forward. Because I still, to this day, despite the oral arguments, think that it would be against the interest of the court as well as our system of checks and balances to say that the president is above the rule of law. And former presidents also enjoy that same immunity. I mean, Alito's actions and his refusal to recuse kind of scares me on that level that, maybe he will say that, yes, presidents and even former presidents have this much immunity and you can't get to them but for impeachment and conviction. I mean, that would be a earth-shattering thing to do, and I don't think that's what's going to happen. So the ruling has to be a scalpel ruling that guides the lower court on how to deal with that criminal trial. I mean, dismissing it would be mind-boggling. I don't even want to go into that nightmare scenario, but at some point I'm going to have to, and I probably will. So with the New York case, Donald Trump met with the probation officer. I mean, think about it, a convicted felon meeting with a probation officer, campaigning to be president of the United States. For people who are convicted felons don't get to go abroad. So if Donald Trump were to win, would he have to take permission from the court every time that he was going on a foreign trip? Or is he going to be on White House arrest? How is that going to work out? So there was a motion made by Donald Trump in that court to have the gag order lifted. I don't think that Merchan has ruled on that yet. I don't remember anything to that effect. And then there was the issue about the Facebook post about somebody posting that their cousin is a juror and Donald will be guilty. We don't know the verity of the post. We don't know if it was a prank or if it was real. Somebody commented on the internet, I think it was Andrew Weissman, that it's bad if it was real. It's worse if it wasn't real, and it has now become a politicized. It's they're attacking the integrity of the jury now in broad daylight and doing it in open and plain view, and it's just incredible to think that that's happening in our country. In the Georgia case, there is the appeal happening with Fani Willis's disqualification sideshow. And I believe that one of the co-defendants in that case who did not participate in the Fani Willis disqualification case wanted to have their case stayed, just like the appellate court did with the co-defendants who had appealed the Fani Willis disqualification. And Judge McAfee has said that their pretrial procedures can go through. They may appeal to the DC court, to the Georgia State Court of Appeals to have their case also stayed while that issue of Fani Willis' disqualification is being adjudicated. But that's still a delay because Fani Willis' disqualification tactic and sideshow has nothing substantively to do with the RICO case for which Donald Trump and his co-defendants have been had been indicted, and more than a few have already pled guilty to. So with that said, that is an update about what is happening with the 4 cases on Donald Trump's criminal cases. It is a rundown. It is a quick rundown. It is an update. But in the end, it all concludes to, with the exception of New York, Donald Trump's criminal cases have now been indefinitely paused by the appellate courts in Georgia and the Supreme Court, and in the trial court by Aileen Cannon. And that really is a sad day to see that these cases that mean so much to the American public and that has already been delayed for so long continues to be delayed. And, it's this 4-month delay of appealing the immunity in SCOTUS is really one of those jarring things that should have happened in a flash and should have taken no more than a month. But the fact that it has taken from February and now till June, February, March, 4 months, that it is a delay. It is, I don't know if it's by design or whether they're crafting a brand opinion or not. Whatever it is, the public have a right to speedy trials. That is our legal right, and our political right is our right to know the truth about a political candidate whose election is coming up and they are under criminal indictment and the courts have paused. So, I mean, nothing short of a miracle would bring these cases out and put them on trial. I mean, I don't know what to say to the Supreme Court other than shame. Other than that, a little bit of non-Donald Trump news. Rudy Giuliani was processed for his criminal indictment in Arizona for the fake elector case. Things are going to get more dicey for Rudy Giuliani as the days go on. So he had a smiling face on today, but I don't think he's smiling on the inside. With that said, this is a judiciary update, and let's wait, because that's all we can do now, and keep informing people about the truth. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you soon again.